we always would look back. We're always reacting, and now we're trying to do some things to say we're looking ahead. Instead of what we saw, it's what we see. And so the whole premise here, and what you're looking at right here on the screen, is our vision for what we call the Ops Center. When a supply chain practitioner, when the chief supply chain officer comes in after their coffee, they open up this Ops Center, and it tells them what part of my supply chain is in trouble. And so we've got some analytics that are lined up with grabbing data from, we're not replacing ERPs, transactional data, operational data, we're actually augmenting it. We're sitting on top of it, grabbing this information, and we're lighting up, you can call it a dashboard, but this is a real-time dynamic view of, do we have any supply issues? Do we have any cost issues, quality, delivery issues? And it gives you can configure what you show on your dashboard. It's highly configurable, very flexible. So we have this data, and they can say, I want to see all my orders shipped, or I've got this critical shipment coming in from China that's going over to the UK. I want to track that shipment. So when I wake up tomorrow morning, I'll know what happened to that shipment. I know it's on its way. I've got a key customer that's relying on that. I want to make sure it arrives on time. So that's the initial view. I'm going to show you one use case of millions that we position as the capability, because part of the story is we're going to pull in a ton of external data. We're pulling in weather company data. We're pulling in data from our carriers on what's going on with each shipment. We're pulling in quality. We're pulling in order data. All that stuff from order management that affects the supply chain. We're pulling it in and letting this engine sift through it. So what's going to happen here? Well, what you see now is one event that we're able to track because we purchased the weather company. So we've got this, we're now considered experts on weather. Well, anyway, so we have
a lot of weather data.
So some of the things, the whole concept of rather than reacting, anticipating is the whole goal here, the supply chain people. So we're anticipating, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning that could affect this key delivery, and the thunderstorm saying it could affect air travel in Southeast China. So you have this little snippet of an alarm, a concern that says there's some weather hitting this, and that critical shipment that was feeding your billion-dollar customer, now we have that information. So it's like, well, what do we do about that? Well, now the system is saying, it did delay flight 578. We're on a ground stop in Hong Kong, and now we know that is going to have an impact on our shipment to that key customer that is affecting my bonus pay. So I want to make sure, what do I do about that? Now I've got this shipment is delayed. It tells me it's 24 hours. Our dashboard lights up red. So all of a sudden, some solutions stop right there, but not supply chain insights. We are going to tell you what's the impact of that. So we have the data through our analytics. We're going to make some information to say the delivery impact is 24 hours and the potential revenue impact is $2 million. Why is that important? Well, supply chain people, they don't necessarily want to spend a lot of time on a $5 impact order. We've got a lot of screws and we got it all in, they want to care. They're going to focus their attention on the high priority things. So we've got this information. It shows what shipments that are at risk. It tells you all these things. And now the second part that Mike told you about, this is all the visibility part of the story. This is just, now we're going to get into the collaboration part of the story. What do you do about that? And this is born on something we developed at IBM. It's a collaboration tool that has Watson embedded in the middle of it. And we developed this because our practitioners at IBM said, it's great that you give me all this information. Tell me what to do about it. Give me a tool to help me take action. So we developed resolution rooms. And this is our view of resolution rooms. It's a synchronous chat. It's a persistent chat. It's something that if normally in the past, what they would do is they pick up the phone or they start emailing, or I don't know if they're really clever, they might tweet. I don't know why I keep saying tweet. Tweet's the theme of this week. But they would do something, and then they would all communicate, and they'd do that, and then a day later, everybody forgot what they did. So you don't learn anything. The whole purpose of this is we're learning from each event. It opens with an event, and once you finish managing it, you close the event, and you create this digital library that Watson now is learning every time you open this resolution. So you can see one of the first things we're doing is Watson, and we filed a patent on this. I was a co-author of the patent. Is this a good time to brag about stuff like that? No. Okay. So we have this patent in place, that Watson recommends who to invite to a resolution room. It says, I'm looking at the last 20 resolution rooms on that topic, and Michael Leary was a champion. He was the critical person you must have in that room. Rob Allen, all he wanted to talk about was the New England Patriots. And so don't invite Rob Allen to any more of these resolution rooms. So it makes recommendations based on your contributions. Comes in, open it up, and then you start having a chat. So we're typing in, they're exchanging, these things are happening in seconds. They're exchanging information. We have this delay. Ask Watson, what are alternate parts are available? Watson goes and scans through the structured data, unstructured data, and gives you advice. Tells you, yes or no, I don't know that, or yes, I do know that. And you go through that, and you can see in this flow that we find an alternate supply, they confirm that they've shipped it, we have the product, and now the system's picking up, wait, we now have the product, it's all whole, everything's good. The next thing we know, we close it, and it goes back to green. The things you should take away from that is this cognitive collaboration, the visibility, we're pulling in many sources of data and letting Watson process it and give us advice. That's the story.
Yeah. And